Thursday, December. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Libitor. Also ahead this morning, an update from Washington after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky addressed a joint meeting of Congress last night asking for more military aid. But first, things in the weather department are about to take a big turn. We're talking a major weather event that could lead to some big trouble for
high wind warning in effect from 10 p.m. this evening to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Friday. What? Southeast winds 25 to 35 miles per hour with gusts up to 60 miles per hour expected. Where? In New York, northern Herkimer, Hamilton, northern Warren, Washington, Rensselaer, and Columbia counties. In Vermont, Bennington County. When? From 10 p.m. this evening to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Friday. Impacts. Damaging winds will blow down trees and power lines. Widespread power outages are expected. Travel will be difficult, especially for high-profile vehicles. Additional details. Strong southeast winds are expected this evening into Friday morning, shifting to the west-southwest behind a cold front Friday afternoon. People should avoid being outside in forested areas and around trees and branches. If possible, remain in the lower levels of your home during the windstorm and avoid windows. Fasten loose objects or shelter objects in a safe location prior to the onset of winds. Use caution if you must drive.
Friday night into Saturday morning. Right now, though, for today, we will remain dry through the afternoon. That's when the wintry mix looks to start. So this morning, 18 degrees in Little Falls, 26 degrees in Whitesboro, 27 degrees in Westmoreland. So for today, expect to reach the mid-30s for the high. That wintry mix starts in the afternoon. It does start to get windy. I will be breaking this down a little bit more coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thank you. Let's get right to it now. With this icy forecast, it might be a good idea to stay home tomorrow if you can. And if you are leaving town or need to go shopping, go before that bad weather hits, as Hannah mentioned. And if you can work remotely from home, definitely consider that. Friday is going to be a matchup between Mother Nature and our local road crews. The concern, as Hannah mentioned, the warmer air and rain will melt the snow. Then the temperature drops drastically quickly, freezing that water that's on the roadways as well as the parking lots and sidewalks. And as far as the roads go, well, the crews can't put salt and brine down too soon or it will just get washed away from the rain. So they have to time the freeze just right.
What we do with our crews is we try and predict, working with the Weather Service, when that will happen, and we'll always make sure that we have all of our trucks out there ahead of that event so we can put down some material on that road as it starts to freeze, even though there may be some rain falling behind us as well.
Could be dangerous for those crews as well. And on top of all these road concerns, the very high winds could knock out power and therefore take out traffic signals. So definitely be extremely careful if you do have to be out in this weather tomorrow for whatever reason. And be sure to stay with News Channel 2 and the Storm Tracker 2 weather team throughout the day tomorrow. The entire team will be keeping their eyes on this very complex and active weather system. We will have live updates all day and, of course, beginning tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. right here on Sunrise, as well as in between broadcast as well. Join meteorologist Hannah Evans starting tomorrow at 5 a.m. right here on Sunrise, and the rest of the Storm Tracker 2 weather team only on News Channel 2, WKTV, and on CBS Utica. Well, this coast-to-coast winter storm is expected to cripple travel just before Christmas. Among the major impacts, snow as far south as Mississippi and dangerous wind chills stretching from the Gulf Coast to the U.S.-Canadian border. Blizzard conditions could shut down major airports like Chicago's O'Hare. Reporter Mike Valerio has a closer look at the storm's potential massive impact.
Go to
Yeah.
It's just a taste of the major winter blast to come. Dangerous cold for days stretching from the Gulf of Mexico to the U.S.-Canada border. A state of emergency declared as far south as Georgia.
This one's looks like it's gonna stick around. We got a few more days coming.
Washington State seeing some of the first snow from the polar plunge. The system moving through Montana, delivering life-threatening cold. Wind chills are now in the forecast as low as 70 degrees below zero in the high plains. Then there are blizzard conditions set for the Midwest.
There's going to be a huge blizzard Thursday, and my brother only has a few days off while we visit him, so we didn't want our flight to get delayed and miss out on some of that time.
Travelers at Chicago's O'Hare changing plans, some taking flight before the worst impacts Thursday, when the airport could potentially close.
We were actually supposed to fly out to Orlando tomorrow, looking for the sun. But then our agent, he called up and said, you're probably better off to leave early because the predicted snowstorm and cold temperatures the next few days.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott and state officials warned of ultra-cold temperatures, concerns heightened because of Texas's deadly heating and power crisis in February 2021.
These landmark reforms include winterization of infrastructure, both generators and poles and wires. We have more power available than ever before.
Whatever challenge may arise, we will have staff available to meet that challenge.
Mike Valerio reporting. While flu cases are continuing to
Welcome back. Snow looks to develop this afternoon around 2 p.m. and we will be seeing some snowfall accumulation before that rain comes in, but the rain will wash it away probably. So we are looking at a trace to an inch for the Mohawk Valley and south and about 1 to 3 inches for up north and the Adirondacks, possibly some ice mixing in at times as well. Then we will be seeing heavy rain tonight and for the morning tomorrow. The cold front looks to move through. It starts to move through around 10 a.m. to noon for our western portion of our viewing area. And for most of the Mohawk Valley, southern valleys, we see 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. is when that flash freeze will occur. A little bit after, up into Adirondacks, 1 to 3 p.m. So as you can see, it's moving from west to east, with the latest of some of us seeing it being 3 p.m. But it looks like early afternoon is going to be the timing for when this flash freeze will occur. And when it occurs, all that heavy rain that we were seeing does look to ice over, and the heavy rain turns to snow. So we will be seeing a couple inches of accumulation of snow even on top of that ice. So it can be very, very dangerous to drive in. But the good news is that we will dry out Saturday. The bad news is that it is going to be very, very cold on Saturday. Friday night into Christmas Eve through around noon, wind chill values are going to be below zero. On Saturday, high temperatures just reach the teens. Same thing goes for Christmas Day. High temperatures right near 20, but it does look dry with a few snowflakes possible up north. Gary.
Hannah, thank you. The DEA says it sees.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We start out this morning a little bit breezy and it is a little bit chilly outside. We will continue to see dry conditions until this afternoon. Let's take a look now at the Cavie Tower camera overlooking the city of Utica. As you can see, it is shaking a little bit. It's a little bit breezy to start, with most of our temperatures ranging in the teens to the 20s. So as you are heading out the door this morning, I would definitely give myself a little bit extra time to defrost the car or to scrape off the car windshield. There is some frost outside and conditions maybe just a little bit icy on the roadways since we were below freezing last night. On our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, still tracking dry conditions, but I am going to zoom out on our radar and satellite to show you what's going to be coming in. At first, we have this low pressure system down south. That will move in this afternoon, bringing in a wintry mix, and the heavy rain that will follow from that. Then the low pressure system with that cold front that will bring the flash freeze. That actually comes in from the west. That looks to come in tomorrow afternoon, freezing us all over and then bringing in a couple of inches of snow. We have issued once again a Storm Tracker 2 alert date on Friday due to heavy rain in the morning, possibly causing some flooding issues with significant snow melt. We also are going to be seeing very gusty winds. A few scattered power outages are possible. And then we have that flash freeze in the afternoon that's going to ice everything over from that rain, and then snow on top of that could be very dangerous to drive in. So the National Weather Service has been issuing out a couple of alerts. We do have a high wind warning for a northern portion of our viewing area. That includes Herkimer, Hamilton, Hamilton, Lewis County. That's tonight through tomorrow evening. And then we have a wind advisory for Mohawk Valley and South, Oneida, Southern Herkimer, and Otsego County. Once again, tonight through tomorrow evening. Wind gusts could reach up to 40 to 50 miles per hour tonight through tomorrow evening. Then we do have a flood watch in effect for Otsego County tonight through tomorrow evening due to that heavy rain, possibly causing some flooding issues in rivers and streams with runoff. And we also have a wind chill advisory. That's in effect for Oneida County, Madison, Chenango counties Friday evening, so tomorrow evening through noon on Christmas Eve. Just due to those wind chill values getting very low, we are going to be seeing temperatures after the flash freeze Friday night into the single digits. That allows for our wind chill values to be between 5 to 15 below zero through Saturday morning. So it is going to get very, very cold after that. That can be very dangerous as well. For the rest of today, expect dry conditions till around 2, 3 p.m. We start to see some snow looking to come in. About a trace to an inch can be expected for most of us, a little bit more in the Adirondacks and up north. Then we start to see a mix turning into all heavy rain after dinner. We see this tonight, and that heavy rain will continue, possibly causing some flooding overnight into tomorrow morning. Then here's that flash freeze. This is 11 a.m. on our Skycast, between 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. for the Mohawk Valley. A couple of inches of snow accumulation on top of that ice, and look at these temperatures drop. Friday night into Saturday, going to be getting very, very cold, as we can see all of our temperatures in the single digits. And on Christmas Eve on Saturday, lake effect snow will continue up north, but most of us will be dry, cloudy, with temperatures only reaching the mid-teens for the high temperature. So for the rest of today, expect our temperature to continue to rise. It also will start to get pretty windy later. We start to see some snow, and then heavy rain continues tonight as our temperature continues to rise and it gets very, very windy. We have heavy rain starting out the day tomorrow. That flash freeze occurs in the afternoon, icing things over, and then we will be seeing snow. It gets very, very cold into Saturday morning with wind chill values below zero, Gary.
That's going to be crazy tomorrow.
Yes, it's a big system. There's a lot to explain. It starts tonight. It's all day tomorrow. Yeah.
Temperatures dropping quickly. Hannah, thank you. The time now is 5:25. Coming up, despite this major winter swing about, holiday travel is still projected to be the biggest it's been in about 3 years. There are a lot of people on the roadways, at the airports, and there's a lot of stress to go along with it all. New this morning, we've got some travel tips from experts to make your trip a little easier. That and more next in your financial report here on News Channel 2 at sunrise. Half hour, I'm Gary Libacher. A lot to get to, but we want to start this half hour with a check of your forecast. Meteorologist Hannah Evans joining us from the Weather Center, and all eyes are on tomorrow, but we got to remember about today. Some rain coming too, right?
Yes, we are going to start out by seeing maybe a trace to an inch of snow for most of us this afternoon, and then it turns into heavy rain overnight and into tomorrow morning.
Wow, a couple of big days ahead in the Weather Center.
Yes, tonight through tomorrow and even into Christmas Eve, that could also be a problem with wind chill. So let's take a look now as to our Storm Tracker 2 alert day. We have issued one for tomorrow. That seems to be the biggest day. We are going to be seeing heavy rain starting tonight into tomorrow, possibly causing some flooding issues, along with very gusty winds that could also cause a few scattered power outages. Then we see our flash freeze tomorrow afternoon. That's going to ice that rain over pretty quickly. And then we are going to be seeing snow on top of that. So that could be really, really a problem when traveling. So once again, breaking this all down today, we are going to be seeing a wintry mix around 2 to 3 p.m. That turns into all rain later tonight, and that could cause a few slippery roads. Tomorrow, we are going to be seeing heavy rain in the morning. That could cause a few flooding issues, especially with the snow melt. And then that flash freeze occurs in the afternoon, turning things very, very icy, tricky travel issues and damaging winds throughout the whole day tomorrow. That could cause a few scattered power outages. Tomorrow, overnight into Saturday, wind chill values will drop below zero, between 5 to 15 below, and that is going to cause very, very cold conditions to start Christmas Eve on Saturday, so that could also be a problem. So right now, though, we are measuring 22 degrees at the Grivers Park Airport in Rome. Calm weather at this point. We are starting to see the wind pick up just a little bit, so it does feel around 8 degrees cooler than the actual temperature. So for the rest of the day, expect an increase in cloud cover with snow starting this afternoon. It's going to remain a little bit breezy today, and I will be talking a little bit more about this alert day tomorrow and breaking this all down coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thank you, and don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast never more than 10 minutes away. Ukrainian.
Welcome back. We are still seeing calm weather this morning, measuring 22 degrees at the Grips Park Airport in Rome. It does feel cooler, though, because that breeze is starting to pick up. Today will be breezy with windy weather looking to come in tonight and for tomorrow. So we have issued a Storm Tracker 2 alert day due to the number of things that could happen, especially tomorrow. We are going to be seeing heavy rain, especially tomorrow morning. That could cause a few flooding issues. We also are going to be seeing very gusty winds that could cause a few scattered power outages, and then that flash freeze is going to cause very icy conditions, and with snow on top of that after the flash freeze, that could be a problem. Friday night into Saturday, it's going to get very cold. Wind chill could also be a problem with wind chill values below 0. So here's a look at the change in temperature. Today we will be in the mid-30s. We will continue to rise until we reach a high in the 40s tomorrow. Once that flash freeze occurs, though, we will drop from the 40s to the 20s, and then digits Friday night into Saturday, with high temperatures on Saturday just in the teens. Gary.
Hannah, thank you. The New York Yankees have named Aaron Judge
Central New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out with quiet weather this morning. It is a bit chilly outside, and we will start to see some snow move in this afternoon before the heavy rain. So let's take a look now at the Caffey Tower camera overlooking the city of Utica. It also is a little bit breezy to start, so it is feeling a little bit cooler outside than the actual temperature, which is ranging in the teens to the 20s. And we're also seeing a lighter frost on the car windshields. So maybe give yourself a little extra time to go out and scrape it off, and maybe give yourself a little extra time because some of the roadways are a bit icy, as we did see some snow melt and any untreated surfaces did turn icy. Here is our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We are still dry, but the unsettled weather comes in this afternoon. So here is what's going on. There are actually two systems. The first system that is going to move in is from the south. That is what will bring in some snow to start, and then that heavy rain tonight into tomorrow morning. Then we have a cold front and a low pressure system from the west. That will bring in that flash freeze tomorrow afternoon with a couple of inches of snow behind the flash freeze, and then we will turn very, very cold into Christmas Eve morning. So we have issued a Storm Tracker 2 alert day for tomorrow. Heavy rain at first that could possibly cause some flooding issues due to snow melt and runoff. We also are going to be seeing very gusty winds that could cause a few scattered power outages, and that flash freeze occurs in the afternoon. That will ice that rain over before dumping some snow on top of it, so that could be very hazardous to drive in. So the National Weather Service has issued a few warnings already. We do have a high wind warning for the northern portion of our viewing area. That is Hamilton, Northern Herkimer, and Lewis County. And we do have a wind advisory for the Mohawk Valley and South, Oneida, Southern Herkimer, and Otsego County. These go into effect tonight through tomorrow evening because we are going to be seeing very gusty winds, possibly reaching up to 40 to 50 miles per hour wind gusts. We also have a flood watch that goes into effect tonight through tomorrow evening, specifically just for Otsego County, because that is looks where the heavier rain is going to fall. And then we have a wind chill advisory for our western portion, Oneida, Madison, Shenango counties. That goes into effect tomorrow evening through Saturday at noon, just due to the cooler weather coming in. We will be in the single digits with wind chill values between 5 to 15 below 0. So here's a look at that. This is going to be Friday overnight into Saturday. Wind chill values as low as 20 below 0 in some places. It's going to be very, very chilly. So as we start Christmas Eve in the morning, it's going to be very cold with those sub-zero wind chill values after this whole event moves through. So for today, the morning and afternoon look dry with cloudy skies. Then around 2-3 p.m. we start to see some snow coming in from the south. A quick couple of inches are possible, so we're looking at a trace to an inch for the Mohawk Valley and South, and a couple more in the Adirondacks and North. Then we will be seeing some mixing moving in. Heavy rain does continue overnight tonight, and it will continue into early tomorrow morning. Now here is that flash freeze. This is the cold front moving through. This is 11 a.m. on our Skycast. The timing looks to be between 11 a.m. to 1 for the Mohawk Valley. As you can see, once it moves through, all that rain is going to freeze over, and we will be seeing a quick couple of inches of snow on top of that. At this point, it looks to be between 2 and 4 inches, higher amounts north. And then that snow continues as lake effect, actually, for the northern portion of our viewing area through the day on Saturday. But Saturday, as you can see, look how cold it gets. Single digits, and then highs just in the teens on Christmas Eve. So for today, expect an increase in cloud cover. Some snow starts out at first this afternoon. It's going to be a little bit breezy, getting very windy tonight. tonight, with that temperature continuing to increase as we see heavy rainfall. We have an alert day for tomorrow once again. Heavy rainfall to start, possibly some flooding issues. Then that flash freeze turns everything icy. We will be seeing some snow, and it gets very cold with very low wind chills after that, Gary.
Boy, you guys in the Weather Center are going to be busy.
Yes, we are busy, especially because it's so long. It's today, tomorrow, and then even into Christmas Eve. Wind chill could be a problem.
Yeah, we'll be keeping in tune with you guys.
Yes.
For sure. Hannah, thank you. Well, with a stroke of her pen and one tiny word, Gary Libator. Also ahead this morning, an update from Washington after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky addressed a joint meeting of Congress last night asking for more military aid. But first, things in the weather department are about to take a big turn. Meteorologist Hannah Evans joining us from the Weather Center, and that turn could be dangerous.
Yes, so we are going to start out by seeing just a little bit of snow this afternoon. That turns into heavy rain, then heavy rain tomorrow, and then that flash freeze tomorrow afternoon, which could cause very icy conditions on the roads.
Yeah, let's hope for the best.
Yes, let's hope for the best. So let's take a look now at our alert day that goes into effect tomorrow. This system is going to start to move through today, then all of tomorrow, and even into Saturday a little bit, but tomorrow is the busiest day. We issue Storm Tracker 2 alert day. Heavy rain, possibly some flooding in the morning. Very gusty winds that could cause a few scattered power outages. And then we have that flash freeze in the afternoon. It's going to ice all that rain over, and even some snow on top of that. So here's a breakdown of it today. We are going to be seeing wintry mix starting around 2 to 3 p.m. And that is going to turn into heavy rain around dinner. That could cause a few slippery roads. And on Friday, we will continue to see the heavy rain into the morning, possibly causing a few flooding issues. In the afternoon, that flash freeze occurs. That could cause very icy conditions on the roads, very hazardous to travel in this, with snow even falling on top of that. And throughout the whole day, we are going to be seeing damaging winds, which could cause a few scattered power outages. Heading into Saturday, it gets very cold after that flash freeze. Temperatures drop in the single digits overnight Friday into Saturday. It remains windy, and that allows for sub-zero wind chill values between 5 to 20 below zero for the wind chill. So that could also be very dangerous. But today, we are starting out quiet this morning. If you do have anywhere to go, do it this morning. 26 degrees in Deerfield, 25 degrees in Clinton, according to our sky watchers. And down south, we are in the teens, 15 degrees in Evanston, 17 degrees in Milford. So for today, the snow looks to start around 2, 3 p.m. It's going to remain breezy, and then heavy rain continues overnight. I will be talking a little bit more about this alert day tomorrow. Coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. Now let's get right to it with this icy forecast. It might be a good idea to stay home tomorrow if you can. If you are leaving town or need to go shopping, you better go before that bad weather hits. Now, if you can work remotely from home, consider doing so. Friday is going to be a matchup between Mother Nature and our local road crews. The concern here, as Hannah mentioned, the warmer air and rain will melt the snow. Then the temperatures drop drastically tomorrow, freezing the water on the roadways as well as the parking lots and sidewalks. And as far as the roads go, the crews can't put salt and brine down too soon or it will just get washed away by the rain. So they have to time the freeze just right.
What we do with our crews is we try and predict, working with the Weather Service, when that will happen. And we'll always make sure that we have all of our trucks out there ahead of that event so we can put down some material on that road as it starts to freeze, even though there may be some rain falling behind us as well.
And on top of all those road concerns, the very high winds could knock out power and therefore take out traffic signals. So be very careful out there. Definitely be extremely careful if you do have to be out in this weather tomorrow for whatever reason. And be sure to stay with News Channel 2 and the Storm Tracker 2 weather team throughout the day tomorrow. The entire team will be keeping their eyes on this very complex and active weather system. We will have live updates all day long, beginning at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning right here on Sunrise, as well as in between broadcasts. Join meteorologist Hannah Evans starting tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. here on Sunrise, and the rest of the Storm Tracker 2 weather team only on News Channel 2, WKTV, and on CBS Utica. Well, this coast-to-coast winter storm is expected to cripple travel just before Christmas. Among the major impacts, snow as far south as Mississippi and dangerous wind chills stretching from the Gulf Coast to the U.S.-Canada border. Blizzard conditions could shut down major airports. Reporter Mike Valerio has a closer look at this storm's potential massive impact.
So
It's just a taste of the major winter blast to come. Dangerous cold for days stretching from the Gulf of Mexico to the U.S.-Canada border. A state of emergency declared as far south as Georgia.
This one's looks like it's gonna stick around. We got a few more days coming.
Washington state seeing some of the first snow from the polar plunge. The system moving through Montana, delivering life-threatening cold. Wind chills are now in the forecast as low as 70 degrees below zero in the high plains. Then there are blizzard conditions set for the Midwest.
There's going to be a huge blizzard Thursday, and my brother only has a few days off while we visit him, so we didn't want our flight to get delayed and miss out on some of that time.
Travelers at Chicago's O'Hare changing plans, some taking flight before the worst impacts Thursday, when the airport could potentially close.
We were actually supposed to fly out to Orlando tomorrow, looking for the sun. But then our agent, he called up and said, you're probably better off to leave early because the predicted snowstorm and cold temperatures the next few days.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott and state officials warned of ultra-cold temperatures, concerns heightened because of Texas's deadly heating and power crisis in February 2021.
These landmark reforms include winterization of infrastructure, both generators and poles and wires. We have more power available than ever before.
Whatever challenge may arise, we will have staff available to meet that challenge.
And that was Mike Valerio reporting. Flu cases are continuing to.
Welcome back. We are going to start to see snow at first this afternoon around 2-3 p.m. So we did make a snowfall forecast for this, even though the rain will wash it away. We are going to be seeing a trace to an inch for the Mohawk Valley and south, 1 to 3 inches for north and the Adirondacks, a few areas of ice mixing in as well as that rain starts to move in. So we will be seeing heavy rain through tomorrow, and then that flash freeze will occur. So here is when the flash freeze looks to come in. For our western portion, it can be between 10 a.m. to noon, 11 a.m. to 1 for most of the Mohawk Valley and most of our viewing area, and then 1 to 3 p.m. for the Adirondacks and the eastern part. And once again, once this moves through, that will ice all that rain over, and then we will be seeing a couple more inches of snow on top of that. We do look to dry out for Saturday, but it is going to get very cold after that flash freeze. Overnight lows Friday to Saturday are going to fall in the single digits with wind chill values almost as low as 20 degrees below zero. So it is going to be very cold Christmas Eve morning. We will only reach the mid-teens for Christmas Eve. We will warm up a little bit more for Christmas Day, but highs only near 20. We look dry for most of us. A few areas of some light snow showers are possible to the north. Gary.
Hannah, thank you. The DEA says it sees in
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out with quiet weather this morning, but things are looking to change this afternoon. Let's take a look now at the Cavity Tower camera overlooking the city of Utica. We are seeing partly clear skies, a little bit breezy to start this morning. So if you do have anywhere to go today, I would definitely recommend getting it done before this afternoon because we will be nice and quiet at that time. We are just starting out a little bit chilly. Temperatures ranging in the teens to the mid-20s. A little bit of frost outside, so maybe give yourself a little extra time to get that off the car or maybe driving as well because there are a few icy spots on the roadways as we did see some snow melt yesterday. We are dry at this point. This is our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, but things are going to change this afternoon. So here is what is going to happen. There's a low pressure system to the south of us that is going to bring in the first round of a few inches of snow, trace to an inch for most of us, as well as a mixed precipitation, and that will bring the heavy rain tonight and for tomorrow morning. Then that flash freeze will come in from this low pressure system and cold front out to the west. That cold front move through, bring in that flash freeze tomorrow afternoon. That will turn everything from this system icy, and we are going to be seeing additional snowfall on top of the ice. So we have issued a Storm Tracker 2 alert day for tomorrow. We are going to start to see heavy rain tonight through tomorrow morning, possibly causing some flooding issues, especially due to snow melt and runoff. We also are going to be seeing very gusty winds starting tonight, and that is going to cause a few scattered power outages. And then we'd see that flash freeze tomorrow afternoon, and that will ice all that rain over and dump some snow on top of that, causing for very, very hazardous travel conditions. So the National Weather Service has already issued a couple of things. We do have a high wind warning in effect for our northern portion of our viewing area, northern Herkimer, Lewis, Hamilton, and we do have a high wind advisory just to take advice for the Mohawk Valley and South, Oneida, Southern Herkimer, Otsego County, Madison, Shenango. This goes into effect tonight through tomorrow evening. Wind gusts can reach up to 40 to 50 miles per hour. We also have a flood watch in effect for Otsego County tonight through tomorrow evening. That's where the county that could see the most issues with some flooding. And then we have a wind chill advisory for the western portion, Oneida, Madison, Shenango counties, starting tomorrow evening through noon on Saturday, because after this flash freeze, our temperatures will drop to the single digits, with wind chill values being almost as low as 20 degrees below zero. So here's a look at wind chill Friday night into Saturday. Look at the southern valleys. 19 below zero is what it's going to feel like in Cooperstown, Oneonta, Herkimer, 10 below zero, and this will last into Christmas Eve morning. We will warm up a little bit on Christmas Eve, but highs are only going to reach the mid-teens. So for today, expect dry conditions with cloudy skies to start around 3 p.m. we start to see that snow coming in from the south. We will be getting a little bit of snowfall accumulation, but then heavy rain comes in. That looks to wash it all away, and we will continue to see heavy rain into tomorrow morning. Now, tomorrow afternoon, that is when the flash freeze looks to come in. We can see 11 a.m. on our skycast here. Here it is. It is going to dump a couple of inches of snow on the back end of it, and then tomorrow overnight into Saturday gets very cold. We can see our overnight lows in the single digits. It remains very, very windy. That is where we get wind chill values almost as low as 20 degrees below zero. It will not warm that up that much on Christmas Eve. We will just reach the mid-teens, and lake effect snow continues for the north. So for today, expect an increase in cloud cover. It starts to get windy. Snow comes in first this afternoon, turning into heavy rain overnight with an increase in temperature overnight, and that wind speed increases as well. So it will be windy tomorrow with heavy rain to start, possibly causing flooding. Then that flash freeze with some snow on top of that. Very tricky travel issues, and wind chill values getting really low heading into Christmas Eve.
Boy, what a Christmas week it's turning out to be.
I know. Well, I would say the good thing is that it happens before Christmas, but still, I know a lot of people are traveling tomorrow. We're planning to.
That's for sure. Be careful out there tomorrow.
Yes.
And stay with us. We are back with more right after this. Thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Libator. A lot to get to, but we want to start this half hour with a check of that all-important forecast. Meteorologist Hannah Evans joining us from the Weather Center, and that forecast is kind of dangerous.
Yes, so we are going to start out today seeing some snow, and then it will turn to heavy rain overnight into tomorrow. And then when that flash freeze moves through, that will ice over all of the rain, so that could be a problem.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy tomorrow.
Yes, definitely tomorrow afternoon. So make sure you do your holiday shopping and stuff before that. So tomorrow is a Storm Tracker 2 alert day. We have issued one for all day tomorrow. We are going to be seeing heavy rain starting tonight through tomorrow morning. That will possibly cause some flooding issues because we will be seeing a lot of snow melt as well. We also are going to be seeing very, very gusty winds starting tonight through tomorrow. That could cause a few scattered power outages. Then we will see that flash freeze in the afternoon. That could ice all that rain over, and we are going to be seeing additional inches of snow dumped on top of that. That could be very dangerous if you are driving around. So here is what is going on. Today we will start to see a wintry mix this afternoon around 2 to 4 p.m. That turns into all heavy rain tonight. That could cause a few slippery road conditions for the commute home today. Tomorrow morning, the heavy rain will continue. That could cause a few flooding issues. And in the afternoon, we will see that flash freeze. So that is going to cause very hazardous travel. All the roads will turn a bit icy. And we also are going to be seeing damaging winds tomorrow with wind gusts up to 50 miles per hour. That could cause a few scattered power outages, and that would not be good since it is going to get very cold after that flash freeze. Overnight lows Friday into Saturday fall into the teens. It remains very windy, and that brings in wind chill values almost as low as 20 degrees below zero. So it is going to get very cold into Christmas Eve day. So if you do have anything to do, get it done today. We are quiet this morning. Our sky watchers have us at 25 degrees in Clinton, 21 degrees in New Hartford, 17 degrees in Old Forge, and looking to the south, 20 degrees in Cooperstown, 15 degrees in Evanston. So for the rest of the day, the wintry mix, the snow looks to start around 2 to 3 p.m. That turns into heavy rain tonight. I will be talking a little bit more, breaking this down a little bit more coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thank you. Some breaking news coming into the news.
Welcome back. We are starting out quiet this morning, measuring 22 degrees at the Griffith Park Airport in Rome, but it does feel about 10 degrees cooler already because that breeze is starting to pick up. It is going to get very windy later today and tonight, and especially very windy tomorrow. So we have issued a storm tracker to alert day tomorrow. We will start out as snow this afternoon, turning into heavy rain tonight into tomorrow morning. That could possibly cause some flooding issues, gusty winds, which possibly could cause a few scattered power outages starting tonight. And we are going to be seeing that flash freeze in the afternoon. That will ice everything over, and then we could be seeing a couple inches of snow on top of that. That is very hazardous to drive in, especially Friday afternoon and evening. So here's a look at the temperature change. We will reach the mid-30s today, and we will continue to rise into tomorrow, reaching the mid-40s, upper 40s. And then once that flash freeze moves through, we will drop from the 40s down to just near 20 degrees. So a huge drop that will ice everything over, and we will reach the single digits by Friday night into Saturday. And on Saturday, we will just be in the teens for the high temperature. Gary.
Hannah, thank you. The New York Yankees have named
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out today with quiet weather, but things are looking to change this afternoon. Let's take a look now at the CAV Tower camera overlooking the city of Utica. Partly clear skies to start. We will be dry through the afternoon. It is going to be a little bit chilly, though, and a little bit breezy, but quiet weather if you do want to get any holiday shopping done or if you do have to travel anywhere. This morning, Nala can clearly see her neighbor. No visibility issues. Today, she is saying good morning to Gracie, who looks like she is a little bit tired this morning, but a few icy spots shouldn't really be a problem. For the evening, though, that is when we will start to see some snow, and then it will turn into heavy rain, so that could be a little bit slippery to travel in. So right now we are dry on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. I am going to zoom out and show you, though, what's going to be going on. We have two systems. The one from the south will reach us first. That will bring in that snow to start around 2 to 3 p.m. this afternoon, and then that will turn into heavy rain tonight through tomorrow morning. Then we see another low pressure system with a cold front to the west. That cold front will move through tomorrow afternoon. That is what will cause the flash freeze, and then we will be seeing a couple inches of snow on top of anything that ices over. So that is why it is going to be very, very tricky to travel tomorrow. We have issued a storm tracker to alert day due to heavy rain, possibly causing some flooding in the morning. Very gusty winds could cause a few scattered power outages. These winds start tonight, and then we see that flash freeze in the afternoon with snow on top of that. Very, very hazardous to drive it. So the National Weather Service has been sending out some warnings and advisories. We do have a high wind warning for our northern portion, Hamilton, Northern Herkimer, Lewis County, and we have a wind advisory for Oneida, Southern Herkimer, and Otsego County. These both go into effect tonight through tomorrow evening, wind gusts possibly reaching up to 50 miles per hour, and that could cause scattered power outages. Then we have a flood watch for Otsego County. That goes into effect tonight through tomorrow evening, just due to the heavier rain falling there, and that is where some people could see some flooding issues. And then we have a wind chill advisory. That actually goes into effect tomorrow evening through noon on Christmas Eve, and that is for Oneida, Madison, Shenango counties. After the flash freeze, our temperatures will continue to drop, overnight lows into Saturday in the single digits, with wind chill values getting very low. Here's a look at our wind chill values. Friday night into Saturday, we are seeing some areas almost 20 degrees below zero, and that will continue through the morning on Christmas Eve. We do not look to warm up that much on Christmas Eve as well, with highs just in the mid-teens. So for today, we will start seeing an increase in temperature, and the temperature will continue to increase into tomorrow. We start to see some snow around 2 to 3 p.m. from the south, and that turns into heavy rain, as we can see here around dinner time, and that heavy rain will continue tonight into tomorrow morning. That temperature continuing to increase. As you can see, we're in the 40s tomorrow morning. Then here is that flash freeze. It happens right here. As you can see, this cold front is going to move through, looking to be between 11 and 1 p.m. And after that flash freeze, we will turn into some snow. And as you see, look at temperatures. They're now in the teens already a couple hours after. Those temperatures will continue to drop into the single digits into Christmas Eve morning. Some lake effect snow actually does pick up for the north as well through Christmas Eve. And it is going to remain very windy with those wind chill values getting very, very low. That can be dangerous as well if you were outside for longer periods of time. High temperatures on Christmas Eve only in the teens. So for today, expect our temperature to continue to increase. It gets a little bit breezy with snow to start this afternoon, and then that will turn into heavy rain overnight with temperatures increasing and very, very gusty winds starting to form. So tomorrow has been issued a storm tracker to alert day. We start out with heavy rain, possibly causing some flooding issues. That flash freeze occurs in the afternoon. That ices all that rain over. Then some snow gets dumped on top of that. That could be an issue when traveling. We also are going to be seeing very gusty winds, and those wind chill values drop very low into Christmas Eve, Gary.
A lot of people watching you 3 in the Weather Center over the next 24 to 36 hours.
Yes, we have been very busy tracking this out. There's a lot of factors and stuff that's going to be happening.
Yeah, let's hope for the best tomorrow.
Yes.
Hannah, thank you. Well, with the stroke of a pen.
From where the news comes first, this is News Channel 2 at 7 a.m. on CW11.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Libator. Things in the weather department are about to take a big turn. We are talking a major weather event that could lead to some trouble for anyone on the roads tomorrow. Let's head right over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Hannah Evans joining us. And Hannah, what time are we talking tomorrow?
So tomorrow the flash freeze looks to come in around 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. for the Mohawk Valley, and that will change things over to snow after icing over the rain that already occurred.
It's going to be slippery.
Yes, it's going to be very hazardous to travel at this time. So we have issued a storm tracker to alert day for tomorrow. We are going to start to see heavy rain tonight. That will continue into tomorrow morning, and that could cause a few flooding issues. We also are going to be seeing very gusty winds that could cause a few scattered power outages, and that flash freeze in the afternoon will ice that rain over, and then we will be seeing some snow dumped on top of that, so that could be very hazardous to drive in. Even after tomorrow, we will turn very cold after that flash freeze moves through with wind chill values below 0 into Christmas Eve day. So here is what is going on. We have a rain or snow to start this afternoon, a wintry mix, and then we turn into heavy rain tonight. That could cause a few slippery road conditions. The heavy rain continues tomorrow morning. That could cause a few flooding issues. Then we see that flash freeze move through in the afternoon. That could cause very icy conditions, very hazardous travel conditions. And for the whole day tomorrow, we will be seeing damaging winds, and that could cause a few scattered power outages. We dry out mostly on Friday night. The lake effect picks up for the north into Saturday, but Saturday is going to continue to be very windy, very cold, with temperatures in the single digits in the morning and sub-zero wind chill values. So make sure you get all your holiday shopping and stuff done today before that mix moves in. Skywatchers this morning have 17 degrees in Old Forge and 21 degrees in New Hartford. And looking to the south, we have 20 degrees in Cooperstown, 23 degrees in Hartwick. So for today, the snow looks to start around 2 to 3 p.m. Then we'll turn to heavy rain around dinner time. I will talk a little bit more about this coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thank you. Let's get right to it now with this icy forecast. It might be a good idea to stay home tomorrow if you can. If you are leaving town or need to go shopping, you better get out before that bad weather hits, Hannah said, around 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you can work remotely from home, consider doing so. Friday is just going to be a matchup between Mother Nature and our local road crews. The concern here, as Hannah mentioned, that warmer air and rain will melt the snow. Then the extreme temperature drop quickly. Well, that's going to freeze everything. And as far as the roads go, the crews can't put salt and brine down too soon or it'll just get washed away by the rain. So they have to time the freeze just right.
What we do with our crews is we try and predict, working with the Weather Service, when that will happen. And we'll always make sure that we have all of our trucks out there ahead of that event so we can put down some material on that road as it starts to freeze, even though there may be some rain falling behind us as well.
And on top of those concerns, the very high winds could knock out power and therefore take out traffic signals as well. So definitely be extremely careful if you do have to be out in that weather tomorrow for whatever reason. And be sure to stay with News Channel 2 and the Storm Tracker 2 weather team throughout the day tomorrow. The entire team will be keeping their eyes on this very complex and active weather system. We'll have live updates all day long, beginning at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, right here on Sunrise and in between broadcasts on WKTV.com. And this coast-to-coast winter storm is expected to cripple travel just before Christmas. Among the major impacts, snow as far south as Mississippi and dangerous wind chills stretching from the Gulf all the way up to the Canada border. Blizzard conditions could shut down major airports, and reporter Mike Valerio has a close look at the storm's potential massive impact.
It's just a taste of the major winter blast to come. Dangerous cold for days stretching from the Gulf of Mexico to the U.S.-Canada border. A state of emergency declared as far south as Georgia.
This one's looks like it's gonna stick around. We got a few more days coming.
Washington state seeing some of the first snow from the polar plunge. The system moving through Montana, delivering life-threatening cold. Wind chills are now in the forecast as low as 70 degrees below zero in the high plains. Then there are blizzard conditions set for the Midwest.
There's going to be a huge blizzard Thursday, and my brother only has a few days off while we visit him, so we didn't want our flight to get delayed and miss out on some of that time.
Travelers at Chicago's O'Hare changing plans, some taking flight before the worst impacts Thursday, when the airport could potentially close.
We were actually supposed to fly out to Orlando tomorrow, looking for the sun. But then our agent, he called up and said, you're probably better off to leave early because the predicted snowstorm and cold temperatures the next few days.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott and state officials warned of ultra-cold temperatures, concerns heightened because of Texas's deadly heating and power crisis in February 2021.
These landmark reforms include winterization of infrastructure, both generators and poles and wires. We have more power available than ever before.
Whatever challenge may arise, we will have staff available to meet that challenge.
Mike Valerio reporting. Flu case.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out dry this morning and quiet, but things are going to change this afternoon. Let's take a look now at our Cavity Tower camera overlooking the city of Utica. We are starting to see some clouds build in, and a snow looks to start to come in around 2 to 3 p.m. today, but at this point, we are still tracking dry conditions on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. First, we will start to see some snow coming in, and then we will see this heavy rain down here moving in tonight through tomorrow morning. Then this cold front that is just out to the west will move through, and that will bring in the flash freeze tomorrow afternoon, and that will ice all that rain over and even bring in a couple of inches of snowfall. So we have issued a Storm Tracker 2 alert day specifically for tomorrow. We will start out with heavy rain, possibly causing some flooding issues, very gusty winds that could cause a few scattered power outages, and then we have that flash freeze, which is going to ice everything over and cause for very hazardous travel tomorrow afternoon. So the National Weather Service has been putting out some things. They put out a high wind warning for northern part of our viewing area, and they put out a wind advisory for the Mohawk Valley and south in our viewing area. That goes into effect tonight through tomorrow night, and that is due to gusts reaching up to 50 miles per hour. That could cause a few scattered power outages. They also put out a flood watch for Otsego County tonight through tomorrow evening, and a wind advisory that goes into effect, or a wind chill advisory, excuse me, that goes into effect tomorrow evening through noon on Saturday for Oneida, Madison, Shenango counties. And because after this flash freeze moves through, our temperatures will drop into the single digits Friday night, and that will cause very, very chilly conditions because it is still going to be windy. So wind chill values are expected to reach up to 20 below zero. So here's a look at that on one of our skycasts. We are seeing Friday overnight into Saturday, it's going to get very, very cold. Wind chill values are all going to be below freezing. Some areas even close to 20 degrees below zero. And that will continue into Christmas Eve morning. So even Christmas Eve in the morning, it's going to be cold, and we will not warm up too much on Christmas Eve. So for today, we will be dry up until around 2 or 3. So make sure you get anything done you need to do this morning and early afternoon. We will start to see some snow move in first. That will bring in around trace to an inch for the Mohawk Valley and south, a little bit more up north. We will start to see heavy rain move in for the rest of tonight and into early tomorrow morning. Flooding could be a problem because of significant snow melt and runoff. So tomorrow, our temperature will continue to increase. We will start out tomorrow morning in the 40s, and right before that cold front moves through, we will be right near 50 degrees. Now, as you can see here, this is the flash freeze. It is moving through. Temperatures behind it drop rapidly back into the 20s and teens teens by Friday evening. We do look to dry out after the snow, with lake effect continuing for up north. Now, tomorrow overnight into Saturday, temperatures drop into the single digits with wind chill values all below zero. It's going to get very, very cold, and it will remain very cold and windy for Christmas Eve, with highs just in the teens on Christmas Eve. So for today, we will be dry up until this afternoon. Start to see an increase in cloud cover. It will get a little bit breezy as well. Snow starts first. That will turn into heavy rain tonight, and our temperature will continue to rise overnight as it does get very windy. We have a Storm Tracker 2 alert day in effect for tomorrow due to heavy rain in the morning, gusty winds, and that flash freeze. It gets very cold into Christmas Eve.
Us on this Thursday, meteorologist Hannah Evans joining us right off the top here, because this is a 1-2 punch. You have one storm coming from the south and then one from the west, right?
Yes, we are going to be seeing a little bit of snow this afternoon. That's coming in from this system down south, and then as you see, the rain's closely following it, so we will get rain from that all tonight and tomorrow morning. Then we have this storm system that's out west. That will bring in the flash freeze, and we will see everything turn to ice and then some more snow on top of that.
Dangerous.
Yes, very dangerous. So if you are traveling tomorrow, I would definitely try to avoid it, especially tomorrow afternoon after the flash freeze. It could be very hazardous.
That's for sure.
Yes, so we have issued a Storm Tracker 2 alert day for tomorrow because of this. So taking a look at our alert day graphic, we are expecting heavy rain in the morning, possibly causing some flooding. Throughout this whole event, we are going to be seeing gusty winds as well. That could cause scattered power outages. And then once again, we have that flash freeze in the afternoon. That will ice all that rain over. And we are going to be seeing some more snow dumped on top of that, so that could be a problem. So here's just breaking it down. Today, we will see some rain and then a wintry mix that will turn into, we will see some snow to start. Then a wintry mix turning into rain. The snow is to come in around 2-3 p.m. this afternoon, which is going to cause a few slippery roads. Tomorrow, we will start out with heavy rain as the rain continues tonight into tomorrow morning. That could cause possible flooding issues. Then we will be seeing a flash freeze in the afternoon. That could cause very hazardous traveling conditions. And we are going to be seeing damaging winds on top of all of this, with gusts up to 50 miles per hour, which could cause scattered power outages. After the flash freeze, it's going to remain very cold into Saturday and windy, and this will create sub-zero wind chill values for Friday night and to start off the day for Christmas Eve. So that could also be a problem if you are outside for too long. So for the rest of today, expect the snow to start this afternoon. Then it will turn into rain. We will really get windy overnight, and I will talk a little bit more about this storm system that's moving in coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thank you. And with this icy forecast, it might be a good idea to stay home tomorrow if you can. Now, if you are leaving town or need to go shopping, you better go before that weather hits. And if you can work remotely from home, consider doing so. Friday is going to be a matchup between Mother Nature and our local road crews. The concern, as Hannah mentioned, the warmer air and the rain will melt the snow. Then the temperature drops drastically and quickly, freezing water on the roadways as well as parking lots and sidewalks. And as far as the roads go, the crews can't put salt and brine down too soon, or it'll get all washed away by the rain. So they have to time the freeze just right.
What we do with our crews is we try and predict, working with the Weather Service, when that will happen, and we'll always make sure that we have all of our trucks out there ahead of that event so we can put down some material on that road as it starts to freeze, even though there may be some rain falling behind us as well.
And on top of all of the road concerns, the very high winds could knock out power and therefore take out some traffic signals. So definitely be careful out there if you do have to be out there for any reason at all tomorrow. And be sure to stay with News Channel 2 and the Storm Tracker 2 weather team throughout the day tomorrow. The entire team will be keeping their eyes on this very complex and active weather system. We'll have live updates all day long, beginning at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning on Sunrise and in between broadcasts on WKTV.com. Meanwhile, President Biden was briefed in the Oval Office this morning on the powerful winter storm that is bringing heavy snow, strong winds, and dangerously cold temperatures to much of the northern part of the country. President Biden urged people who are under threat from dangerous, threatening weather to heed the local warnings. In remarks shortly before a briefing with FEMA and the National Weather Service, the president said he has tried to contact 26 governors whose states are affected by the extreme weather. Biden stressed that it is not like a snow day when you're a kid and urged the public to please take this storm seriously. And this storm affecting us is just part of that massive storm blanketing much of the northern part of the country, and it comes just as millions are heading out for the holidays. NBC's Maggie Vespa joins us now from Illinois with more now on the potential massive effects of this massive storm.
We are getting down to the 0 hour here in the Midwest and out east to get on the road and get to where you want to go for the holiday as this storm makes its way east. Millions across the Midwest and beyond waking up to blizzard warnings. In fact, 8 states and counting now under blizzard warnings, from Montana and the Dakotas out to western New York. Also a growing number of governors, including in Kentucky most recently, declaring states of emergency. The governor of Indiana calling in the National Guard to help rescue people on the roads just in case they get trapped. This after we saw examples out west of how bad things could get. Whiteout conditions from places 2 days ago in Washington, also in the Dakotas overnight. In Denver, they've opened the Denver Coliseum, that massive arena, to welcome in hundreds as a warming shelter just in case there are power outages in that region, which is obviously a big concern here in the Midwest and out east as well. Officials advising people to sign up for emergency alerts as the system makes its way through and just be prepared to hunker down at home, potentially for days on end. Maggie Vespa, NBC News, Belvidere, Illinois.
Other news now. Wednesday marked the 34-year anniversary of the...
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are starting out dry this afternoon, but things are going to change within the next hour or two when we start to see some snow. Let's take a look now at the Utica National Tower camera overlooking Main Street in Cooperstown. Cloudy skies, and it is getting pretty windy, so it is feeling pretty cold outside, and the snow looks to start around 2 to 3 p.m. So right now, Nala can clearly see her neighbor. She is saying hi this afternoon to Gracie, who looks like she got into a little bit of trouble. She looks like she's causing some mischief, but we will start to see some snow developing around 2:30. It will be coming from the south, and then for the evening commute, snow will be starting to turn into rain, so it could be a little bit slippery, but it's not nearly going to be as bad as the road conditions will be tomorrow afternoon. So right now on our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, still dry. We are starting to see a few snowflakes coming up from the south. This is due to a system that is just to the south of us. We will see snow to start at first. Rain looks to take over around 7 p.m. and it will continue to rain pretty heavily into tomorrow morning. Then this next system that is coming in from the west, that looks to move through tomorrow starting around 10, 11 a.m. That's what will bring the flash freeze and will turn all that rain into ice, because temperatures are going to drop from 40s to the 20s, even the teens, in a matter of hours. So it will freeze everything over, and we will see some snow dumped on top of that as well. So the snowfall for today, we are looking at just a trace to an inch for the Mohawk Valley and south. 1 to 3 inches can be expected up north, and we could be seeing some ice mixing in at times. And now we are also going to be seeing some rain looking to start after this snowfall event around 7 p.m. tonight through tomorrow morning. So we do have a flood watch in effect tonight through tomorrow evening for Otsego County. And then we also have a wind chill advisory for after the fact on Friday. It's going to be very, very cold after the flash freeze. Temperatures drop into the single digits. And then we will be seeing wind chill values below zero, around 15 to 20 degrees below zero is possible. So we do have a wind chill advisory for Oneida, Madison, and Chenango counties starting Friday evening. We also have high wind warning and advisories. High wind warnings for the northern portion of our viewing area and advisories for the Mohawk Valley and south starting tonight through tomorrow evening. The start of the flash freeze looks to start to come in around 10 a.m. to noon on our western portion, 11 a.m. to 1 for most of us, and then 1 to 3 p.m. for the eastern portion. And once that flash freeze moves through, that will ice everything over. We will be seeing some extra snow on top of that. Expect a trace to 3 inches for the Mohawk Valley and south, 3 to 7 up north, and then lake effect picks up on Saturday for especially Tug Hill. They could be seeing a little bit more. This snowfall map is for Friday afternoon after the flash freeze through Saturday evening. So for the rest of today, we will start to see some snow come in around 2, 3 p.m. from the south. Then it looks to turn into all rain after 7 p.m. Rain will be very heavy at times overnight into tomorrow morning. Flooding is possible, especially with a lot of snow melt. That flash freeze looks to start to come in around 11 a.m. It will turn into heavy snow behind it, and then we will look to dry out with lake effect continuing up north. Temperatures drop into the single digits Friday into Saturday. It's going to feel like below zero temperatures. Wind chill could be a problem. Saturday, we look to remain dry in the Mohawk Valley and south, but we could be seeing lake effect snow continuing for the day, especially up north as we remain very cold for Christmas Eve. So for today, expect high temperatures in the mid-30s. We will start to see some snow and rain mixing in this afternoon, and it will turn into heavy rain overnight. We do start to get very, very windy overnight. We remain windy tomorrow as we continue to see heavy rain in the morning. Then we will be seeing some mixed precipitation. We will be seeing that flash freeze that will ice everything over, and that will turn into snow. And we will remain very, very cold and windy Friday night into Saturday, Gary.
Boy, a weather person can't ask for more than this, huh?
I know, it's just too much. I'm getting myself confused, honestly. I'm like, it's a mix today, then rain tomorrow, flash freeze, ice, and then snow, then wind chill.
A lot to deal with.
Yes.
Hannah, thank you. Flu cases are continuing to soar across the country. And the weather at this hour. This video behind me is from the Midwest this morning. President Biden was actually briefed on this massive storm that will be affecting 26 states when it's all said and done. Now let's head over to the Weather Center where meteorologist Hannah Evans is tracking not only that system, but another system from the south that'll be moving in this afternoon.
Yes, so we are seeing two systems. There's a system coming in from the south that will bring in some snow, then rain for tonight and tomorrow morning. Then that flash freeze will occur. That will turn the rain icy, and then we will be seeing heavy snow behind it. So let's take a look now at the Yorkville Battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. This system from the south is approaching. We are looking to see some snow this afternoon, but it does quickly turn over to rain. It looks to turn over to rain around 7 p.m., and it will rain pretty heavily tonight into tomorrow morning. And we have issued an alert day just for the rain in general tomorrow. Heavy rain, possibly some flooding, and it is starting to get pretty windy now, but it really will get very windy overnight. Then another system to our west will cause a flash freeze to move in. Timing looks to be 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. That will ice over that rain that we saw, so that could cause for very hazardous travel, and we could be seeing snow behind it. So wintry mix to rain today, a few slippery roads for the evening commute. Tomorrow we will continue to see rain in the morning, then that flash freeze coming in the afternoon with damaging winds on top of that. So our impacts are hazardous travel, a few power outages, and flooding issues are possible. Then even after the flash freeze and the snow comes to an end, it is going to turn very windy and very cold Friday night into Saturday with sub-zero wind chills, so that could also be a problem if you are outside for too long. So for today, expect the snow to start pretty soon. That will turn over to rain around 7 p.m. It is also going to get very windy tonight. I will be talking a little bit more about this coming up, Gary.
Hannah, thank you. The severe weather and brutal cold from that massive winter storm that right now is in the Midwest is already causing holiday travel chaos as many Americans have changed their plans to try to get out earlier. Here's NBC's Tom Costello with more.
Howling and blowing across the northern plains and headed into the Midwest, that monster winter storm, blinding road traffic, blasting Minneapolis, and making a beeline for Chicago with O'Hare and Midway airports in the crosshairs.
Have you guys de-iced that one yet? We were told the captain called for ice accumulation.
De-icing critical across a big chunk of the country as airports and airlines try to keep operations moving as long as possible. Today and tomorrow were scheduled to be the busiest departure travel days. Now this.
This is the kind of hiccup you don't need this time of year.
Yeah, Mother Nature timing could have been better, but we're prepared. We've got 15,000 new employees. They've all been trained.
This is Flight 1865, service to Miami. Good morning. Hi there, welcome.
Nationwide, passenger volume is rivaling 2019 levels. Brooke Nelson and her daughter heading to California.
Trying to beat the snow, so we hope we get there before the weather gets in.
Okay, looks like our forecast is a little different.
To keep the system moving, the FAA Command Center has opened military airspace along the coast.
Having gotten through such a great, smooth Thanksgiving week in terms of travel, including the busiest travel day since before COVID, things went so well. But this time around, unfortunately, it's just not going to be as smooth because of this weather.
The expert advice: in the air or on the roads, leave early, pack a lunch and extra clothes, and have a backup plan. And a dose of optimism doesn't hurt.
You're going to fly right through this stuff.
Yes, we will. And we're hoping for smooth air, and a little choppy air is fine. No problem. That's my kind of weather.
He might be the only one that has an easy time. NBC's Tom Costello reporting. Well, as Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky wrapped up his defiant wartime visit to Washington yesterday.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good afternoon, everybody. At this point, we are mostly dry, but we will start to see some snow develop a little bit here. So let's take a look now at the Utica National Tower camera overlooking Main Street in Cooperstown. All of us are seeing cloudy skies. It is starting to get a little bit windy, so it is feeling pretty chilly outside. It is going to get very windy tonight as we start to see unsettled weather. So taking a look now at our York Full Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. The snow here looks to be moving in this afternoon. We're only going to be seeing a little bit of snow ahead of this, and then we will see heavy rain. Most of it does look to wash away. So here's what's happening. We see some snow from this system to our south that is moving up north. We will see heavy rain develop around 7 p.m. It will rain all night into tomorrow morning. Then this system to our west, that will create the flash freeze. So we will see the flash freeze move through around 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. tomorrow. That ices over all the heavy rain that we saw, and we do see snow on the back end of that. So that can cause very hazardous conditions when traveling. So for today, snowfall amounts only look to be a trace to an inch for the Mohawk Valley and south, and a little bit more, 1 to 3 inches up north. We could be seeing some ice mixing in at times, especially when it does start to mix over to rain, which will be around dinner time. And then we will be seeing some rainfall. So heavy rain looks to come in tonight through tomorrow morning. So this is until tomorrow at 11 a.m. All in all, we're looking at 1 inch, 2 inches of accumulation, when in and of itself can cause some flooding issues, but we are going to be seeing significant snow melt as well. So that could cause some flooding issues, especially down in Otsego County where that flood watch from the National Weather Service has been issued. Then we will be seeing the flash freeze. So the start of it looks to be to our west around 10 a.m. to noon, but for most of us, we will start to see it come in 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. around that time range. And then for our eastern portion, 11 to 3. It turns very, very slippery as that heavy rain that we were seeing freezes on the roadways. And then we will be seeing some additional snowfall after that flash freeze moves through. So we do have snowfall. This goes into effect after the flash freeze through Saturday evening. We are looking at a trace to 3 for the Mohawk Valley and south, 3 to 7 inches for our northern area, including northern Oneida County, northern Herkimer County, and then more snowfall up in Lewis County, 7 inches to a foot. And that is just due to because lake effect is going to pick up for the day on Saturday up there up north. So this is additional snowfall after the flash freeze occurs. And even after the flash freeze occurs, it's going to be getting very cold. Low temperatures Friday into Christmas Eve day are going to be in the single digits. Wind chill values are all going to be below 0. So this is Saturday overnight. Wind chill value is 19 below 0 for down south, 12 below 0 Herkimer. It will continue to be very cold into Christmas Eve during the day. Around noon, that's when the wind chill advisory goes away, but it is going to be very, very cold with sub-zero wind chills into Christmas Eve day. So today, we will start to see some snow move in this afternoon. Once again, not a lot of snow before that heavy rain switches over. We will continue to see very heavy rain overnight into tomorrow morning. Then that flash freeze approaches, looks to be between 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. for most of us. It will turn all that heavy rain very icy, and temperatures will drop from the 40s to the teens by Friday night. Then we will be seeing single-digit lows into Saturday morning. It is going to get very cold with wind chill values all below 0, and lake effect picks up for the north on the day for Christmas Eve, but very cold and windy continues for Christmas Eve. So for the rest of today, we will start to see a mix. It is going to get a little bit windy, but gets very windy tonight as that heavy rain approaches, along with that low pressure system. So we have issued a Storm Tracker 2 alert day for tomorrow. We will be seeing heavy rain in the morning, which could cause some flooding issues, and then we are going to be seeing that flash freeze occur around 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. for most of us, and some snow on the back end. Temperatures will drop from the 40s to the teens, and wind chill values are going to be below 0 into Christmas Eve, Gary.
A lot to digest for sure.
Yes, a lot going on, and it's going to be over the course of a couple of days. So it's 2 systems. It's very complicated right now.
That's for sure. Hannah, thank you. With a stroke of her pen and one.
Kristen is off tonight. We're seeing scattered snow across the region right now, but it's what moves in tomorrow that has people across central New York on edge. National Grid has extra crews in the area hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst. News Channel 2's Chief Meteorologist Bill Kardish is tracking the timing of it all. And Bill, right now, even you said you went outside here on Smith Hill, and that snow is kind of changing over to rain now, isn't it?
Yeah, and it will gradually across the area, not at the same time. It's going to take a lot longer for this transition to happen on hilltops. It's a little slippery out there this evening. We do want to do our due diligence and take some time taking a look at conditions out there now. Let's take a look at the radar. We are looking at a mix of rain and snow, some slippery spots. We do expect to see some snow accumulation, but not a lot. And this snow is going to turn over to rain as we head into tonight. So a couple of slippery spots to contend with this evening. But again, this does turn over to rain here gradually throughout this evening. Current temperature is 33 degrees. This evening, we'll see that transition from snow to rain. Big story as we head into the next 24 hours, the wind, the rain, the flash freeze. The flash freeze is expected to be widespread and could make things very icy heading into Friday afternoon. I've got some of the latest information on the timing of when that transition happens so that you can prepare and not be on the roads during that time. That's coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Utility trucks are staging in Utica now ahead of tomorrow's weather. As soon as it's safe for crews to get out on the roads, they'll get to work to restore power if there is power outages. They are expected, though, for Friday evening into Saturday from those high winds, heavy snow and ice buildup throughout the holiday weekend. National Grid reps, I should say you want to prepare now due to the timing of this storm.
Now is the time to act. If you need batteries, if you need bottled water because maybe you have a well and you have a pump, this is the time to make sure that you have bottled water available. You have enough batteries to power those flashlights. The forecast has shifted so many times that it's really tough to say. We know that the impacts of the weather are going to start tomorrow when the temperature starts dropping.
Actually, our forecasts here have not changed. Bill's been right on. If you do experience an outage, though, you can call 1-800-867-5222 or report it online at nationalgrid.us.com. We do have a link for you on our website, WKTV.com. Now, by reporting outages, you're helping them target their response where it is most needed. Folks rushing to the grocery store to get their last-minute.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We continue to track snow and rain moving through central New York this evening. Let's take a live look outside. We can see the city lights from our Cavity Tower cam. That's because we've seen a changeover to rain here on Smith Hill. That's not the case everywhere. We're still seeing a mix between rain and snow and a couple of slippery spots out there. As live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Take your time heading home this evening. Again, a couple of slippery spots to be had. As warmer air builds in from the south, this snow turns over to all rain tonight before it turns back over to snow heading into tomorrow. Impacts on travel again this evening. That wintry mix continues. Overnight, this turns over to rain. The winds pick up overnight, too. Friday morning, if you're traveling, it's okay in the morning. If you do have to run errands or if you have to travel, if you can get to your destination before noon on Friday, that would be ideal because a significant flash freeze is expected to take place Friday afternoon as temperatures drop. It's expected to turn very icy. This is the #1 concern. Weather-wise, there's going to be a lot of weather taking place, but this is our primary concern because, again, this is going to affect the entire area and it's going to make things very icy in a very short period of time. This is the timing of when the flash freeze arrives. It'll be towards 10 to 11 a.m. in the Syracuse area. Utica, we're looking at a timing of 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And if you're heading east, 1 to 3 p.m. out towards the Albany area. Again, it's going to get very slippery here as those temperatures fall. Windy conditions tonight and into early Friday. It stays windy Saturday. The winds will be dying down as we head into Sunday and Monday. We've got that big storm. It's been the buzz for the past week. And the cold front itself will be approaching from the west as we head into tonight. That's going to cause all this weather. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast, again, snow turning over to rain tonight. Temperatures will gradually climb above freezing. We start out Friday morning with temperatures around 40. Again, in the morning, it's okay to drive, but things quickly change. This is a scene at 10 a.m. Some heavy rain starts to break out. This is one of the biggest concerns here, too, because it's going to rain and then it's going to snow. There's not going to be any delay in that, and that's going to mean things turn icy across the board. Because as that rain falls, it's going to wash away any road treatment. So it's going to be very challenging for the road crews to keep on top of this. That's why we want you to exercise patience and try not to be on the roads in the early afternoon. It gets cold here as we head throughout Friday. We do have some snow accumulation Friday afternoon and Friday evening. By 5 p.m., we're in the teens. It will drop into the single digits Friday night. About a trace to 3 inches of snow is to be expected as this front rolls through. Lower amounts in the lower elevations, a couple of inches along the higher spots. North of the Mohawk Valley, a south wind can kind of squeeze out more snow here for the hilltops. Potentially 3 to as much as 7 inches of snow Friday and into Friday night. Heavy rain tonight down to 34 degrees. Tomorrow, we're looking at temperatures in the mid-40s. That's an early high. Again, it's going to fall throughout the day. Again, that flash freeze is the primary concern. Storm Tracker 2's 7-day forecast. Windy and cold on Saturday, a high of 15. Wind chills below 0. But it is dry locally, and it stays dry on Sunday. It will gradually warm up here as we head into early next week. We are going to dive into the winds. And we're going to look at how the winds behave across the area over the next 24 hours coming up.
Yeah, because that's really what's going to be the determination of how quickly things freeze and how many power outages we could have.
Right.
All important. Thanks, Bill. Well, here's all I can tell you right now. The airports nationwide are preparing for mass cancellations and delays ahead of a severe winter storm that is set to impact the Northeast. How about this? The airport in Buffalo. Crews are already pre-treating the runways and doing everything they can to keep operations open. The area is under a blizzard warning out there. You think we have it tough. Blizzard warning from Friday morning through Sunday morning. 1 to 3 feet of snow and winds of upwards 70 miles an hour are expected there. And the Buffalo Bills are preparing for a cold game in Chicago this weekend. They're having to leave early to make it to the game safely. Ordinarily, the team would fly out on Friday, but because of snow and high winds forecasted for Chicago and Western are seeing snow. But some more treacherous weather is expected to move in tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis, though, tracking the storm. He's also tracking what we're dealing with on the drive home tonight. But you've got wind advisories, high wind warnings coming out tonight,
yeah,
right?
And we haven't spent a whole lot of time talking about the wind. It is going to be windy. I just want to take a little bit of time here to kind of just lay this out, too. We do have high wind warnings for higher elevations north of the Mohawk Valley and wind advisories across the region. We're thinking winds pick up tonight. We could see peak wind gusts between about 40 to 50 miles an hour. That's on the threshold where we could see some scattered power outages. Thankfully, it's generally rain tonight. I say that, thankfully, because if this was that heavy, wet snow, the risk for power outages would be a lot higher. But I don't think that's going to be the case tonight. Tomorrow, it's windy as well. Wind gusts, again, close to 40 to 45 miles an hour. So power outages are possible here over the next 24 hours, and the wind will be with us as we head into Saturday as well. It's going to help the wind chill fall below 0. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. If you're on the roads tonight, we're seeing a transition from snow to rain, and there's slushy conditions out there now, and it is tricky travel, but as that transition happens, the snow turns over to rain, roads will improve. And by tomorrow morning, it's a wet start to the day, but then it turns icy. As we head into tomorrow afternoon, we're tracking that flash freeze coming up. Jason, back to you.
A roller coaster for sure. Thank you, Bill. Deaths from drug overdoses are on the rise.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We continue to track a few slippery spots this evening. As expected, this precipitation starting out as snow, and it is expected to turn over to rain if it hasn't already done so. Let's take a live look outside. This is our Utica National Tower Cam overlooking Cooperstown. The roads are wet here. Visibility is decent. Yes, we are seeing some rain showers in areas south of the Mohawk Valley. And that transition is taking place from southwest to northeast as warmer air works in a loft. So if you are still seeing snow out there, it's not going to last for much longer unless you live north of the Mohawk Valley. It might turn over a little bit later this evening, probably closer to about 7 to 9 p.m. But again, most of us will see a switch over to some rain and road conditions will improve. A few slippery spots out there now, but again, things improve there tonight. One thing we really haven't been talking about too much of is the wind and the wind chill. That's going to make it feel like single digits, in fact, even below 0 by 5 p.m. tomorrow. Again, we're talking about that flash freeze. That cold air on the backside of this front is going to mean business. It is going to be very cold. It's going to be a shock to the system here tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, and into Saturday. Wind chills will be double digits below 0 Saturday morning, and it will stay cold throughout Saturday afternoon. Winds continue tomorrow and into tomorrow night. The winds will gradually settle down and become lighter as we head into Sunday and Monday. As far as peak wind gusts, we're thinking about 40 to 50 miles an hour tonight and early tomorrow, which could lead to some scattered power outages. So again, we do have the wind and the cold weather as this cold front moves in from the west. But again, the big story is what happens as that transition takes place. Tonight, we're looking at widespread rain. Temperatures will remain above freezing. We'll start out tomorrow morning very mild, at least for late December. Temperatures will be in the low 40s. The cold front arrives from the west as we head into the early afternoon. I'm going to stop things at 10 a.m. looking at temperatures in the low 40s with heavy rain, and then it turns over to briefly heavy snow with windy conditions. And as temperatures fall from above freezing to below freezing, we're expecting a widespread flash freeze. Everything looks to turn very icy here heading into Friday afternoon and Friday evening. Again, it gets cold. We're into the teens by 5 p.m. into the single digits Friday night. We do pick up some snow on the back end here, thinking a trace to 3 inches across the Mohawk and Southern valleys, 3 to 7 inches of snow north of the Mohawk Valley. But again, it's that widespread icy conditions that will affect all areas. Roads will be very slippery until they get treated. So again, plan on avoiding the roads until that happens if you can. Tonight, looking at overnight lows in the 30s with widespread rain. Tomorrow, rain turns over to snow. It gets very icy as temperatures plummet from the 40s to the single digits by Friday evening. Again, it's very cold heading into Friday night. We showed you those wind chills below zero. Saturday, it's windy, it's cold, but it's dry locally. There will be some very heavy lake effect snow falling in western and northern New York, but it stays out of our area. We might see some snow from that Sunday night into Monday north of the valley. We'll keep an eye on that. The weather gets a lot quieter here as we head into next week. We're looking forward to that. We'll be right back.
Off tonight. The severe weather has already started. It isn't expected, though, to let up until well into tomorrow night. Let's get you the full story from Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis, tracking what's going on outside now, and then everything changes later.
Yeah, let's focus on the conditions out there this evening first. As expected, a wintry mix has arrived, roads a little slippery. This is changing over to rain as we speak from southwest to northeast. So if you're still seeing snow now, that won't be the case later tonight as warmer air works in aloft. We've used every single color on the radar this evening to illustrate this. And again, it is going to be a little messy out there. Most of the roads are slushy or wet, but again, you will occasionally run into a few slippery spots, especially if you drive into a higher elevation. Current temperature is 33 degrees. This evening, again, that wintry mix. We're expecting the winds to pick up tonight. Rain first thing tomorrow morning, and then the highest impact over the next 24 hours is expected to be a flash freeze, which will be taking place tomorrow afternoon. I'm tracking that hour by hour. We're talking more about the impacts on that coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. National Grid has 2,800 crews in the upstate area ahead of potential widespread power outages. Many of the trucks staging now in Utica. As soon as it's safe for crews to get out on the roads, they'll work to restore power when those power outages take place, which are expected Friday evening into Saturday from those high winds, heavy snow, and ice buildup into the holiday weekend. National Grid preps say you want to prepare now, though, due to the timing of the storm.
If you need batteries, if you need bottled water because maybe you have a well and you have a pump, this is the time to make sure that you have bottled water available. You have enough batteries to power those flashlights. This storm is complicated by the holiday. There's not going to be an opportunity to just run out to the grocery store or somewhere else to go pick up batteries because those stores are all going to be closed due to Christmas.
If you do experience an outage, you can call 1-800-867-5222 or report it online at nationalgrid.us.com. We have a link to our website, WKTV.com. There's the NYSEG number as well. That way you can help these folks target the outages and their response gets to them where it's needed most. Folks are rushing to the grocery store, too, to get their last-minute.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We continue to track a wintry mix moving through central New York. It has turned over to rain in many areas, but there's going to be some slush on the roads if you are traveling this evening. Traveling's not terrible, but again, it is going to be slippery in some spots. A live look at our Utica National Tower cam overlooking Cooperstown. Again, roads are generally wet. Look at all the colors here on the radar this evening. What we're seeing is a push of warm air and that transition from snow over to rain. And if it hasn't happened over your area yet, it will over the next couple of hours. Again, traveling tonight, we're dealing with rain for the most part, along with some wind. It's tomorrow afternoon that's the biggest concern for travel as temperatures take a nosedive and we see icy conditions build very quickly across the area. I wanted to highlight the start time of the flash freeze. For most of us, it'll be between 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., a little bit sooner to the west and later to the east. That is when conditions are expected to turn very slippery here. Until the roads get treated, it can be very difficult to get around across the area. Once the roads get treated, this will get better. Conditions will improve throughout the evening. The winds will be very strong tonight and early tomorrow. That could lead to some scattered power outages, peak wind gusts between about 40 to 50 miles an hour as this Arctic front moves in. We can see the Arctic front to the west, and we'll time this out on our Skycast. Again, that transition from snow to rain tonight, temperatures very slowly climb above freezing. And it's a wet start to the day tomorrow. 8 a.m. temperatures will be above freezing. If you have to travel Friday morning, it's actually not a bad time to do that. It'll be windy and wet. Temperatures will remain above freezing. 10 o'clock in the morning, the front starts to approach. Heavy rain starts to fall across the area. This is one of the reasons why we think this flash freeze will be pretty tricky, because it'll be raining pretty hard. Road crews will have a hard time getting treatment on the roads. And they won't really be able to do that until the rain comes to an end. And it turns over to snow as we head into the afternoon. This is the scene at noontime. We go from 40s to 20s, and the temperatures continue to drop rapidly heading into tomorrow afternoon. Again, those are conditions that favor icy conditions to develop. And it's cold. Temperatures will be in the teens by 5 p.m. Wind chills will be near or below zero. And we will have some scattered snow showers across the area as we head into Friday evening. Most of the accumulation of snow looks to be confined north of the Mohawk Valley. Could see as much as 3 to 7 inches Friday afternoon, Friday evening, and Friday night north of the valley. A trace to 3 inches of snow possible in and south of the valley. And a lot of that accumulation, or at least the higher amounts, will be confined to the hilltop locations. Heavier lake effect snow will be in the forecast for northern and western New York heading into the weekend. That stays away from our area, though. Heavy rain tonight down to 34 degrees. Again, the flash freeze taking place tomorrow, an early high of 46 as rain turns over to snow. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Windy and cold on Saturday, but dry across our local area. We're into the low 20s on Sunday. And some lake effect snow is possible Sunday night north of the valley. The weather looks to turn quieter, and we're looking at some warmer temperatures later next week with highs near 40 by Thursday. Jason.
Bill, thank you. Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6. The Comets will stay in Dallas. Thank you for joining us tonight. Friday is an alert day. The massive winter storm that's been affecting the rest of the country makes its way here. The governor has already declared a statewide emergency. In fact, there's a ban on full commercial vehicle travel on the thruway from Rochester points west to the Pennsylvania border. They'll have blizzard conditions out there. Not for us, though. For what we can expect, let's turn to Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. He's in the Weather Center now tracking what's out there now and what we can look forward to. You can hear the wind out there whipping already.
Yeah, it's going to be a windy night across central New York. We are tracking rain. We saw this fall as a wintry mix earlier, but it makes its transition over to rain. Let's take a look at the New York-Field Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. As temperatures very slowly warm up, we'll see that transition continue over to plain rain across the region. We've had this east wind in the Mohawk Valley at around 33 miles an hour. It is strongest in the Mohawk Valley this evening. We're going to be seeing peak wind gusts up to about 40 to 50 miles an hour. So some scattered power outages could be a thing here as we get into tonight as well as early tomorrow. Heavy rain tomorrow morning followed by a big drop in the temperature will cause a flash freeze. We're expecting very icy roads to develop as we head into tomorrow afternoon. And it gets very cold as we head into the weekend. Wind chills will drop well below zero. 36 degrees is the current temperature. East-southeast wind at 22 miles an hour. Heavy rain tonight and windy conditions. Temperatures in the low to mid 30s. We are tracking that flash freeze, and we'll let you know when that's going to be arriving, and that's coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight, National Grid crews are already dealing with power outages. Nearly 3,000 customers in Oneida County without power. That's north of Holland Patton in the areas of Barneveld, Steuben, and the Hinckley area. Now, National Grid has 2,800 crews in the upstate area ahead of the potential widespread power outages. They're could see in central New York, upstate New York. As soon as it's safe for crews to get out on the roads, they do to restore that power. Those expected to be tomorrow into Saturday from the high winds, heavy snow and ice buildup through into the holiday weekend. Now, National Grid reps say you want to prepare now due to the timing of the storm.
If you need batteries, if you need bottled water because maybe you have a well and you have a pump, this is the time to make sure that you have bottled water available. You have enough batteries to power those flashlights. This storm is complicated by the holiday. There's not going to be an opportunity to just run out to the grocery store or somewhere else to go pick up batteries because those stores are all going to be closed due to Christmas.
If you do experience an outage, you can call 1-800-867-5222. That's National Grid, or you can go to nationalgrid.us.com. The NYSEG number also on your screen, 1-800-572-1131. We'll have all that stuff for you on our website as well, WKTV.com. Meantime, this storm is plunging temperatures, dumping snow and snarling air traffic across the country. National Weather Service is calling this a life-threatening situation as more than 110 million Americans are under winter alerts coast to coast for icy and snowy conditions. Amanda Sassone has the latest on the storm and what it means for holiday travelers.
Dreams of a white Christmas turning into a nightmare.
It's already stressful enough.
For travelers trying to get home for the holidays.
Can't rent a car to go back to Bozeman. There's no flights back to Bozeman. No other flights to Nashville until I think like Christmas Eve.
Thousands of flights canceled or delayed Thursday, and already more than 2,000 canceled for Friday, according to FlightAware, as a once-in-a-generation winter weather event descends on the U.S.
It's tough, but hey, got a chance to see my family.
Across the plains, dangerous whiteout conditions on the roads.
Visibilities are rapidly dropping, so people who are stranded on the roadways, it's a life-threatening situation.
While a developing bomb cyclone is set to unleash heavy snow and blizzard conditions, especially in the Midwest and around the Great Lakes.
If you have to be on the road, if you have to drive, make sure you have a full tank of gas. We have water.
But it's not just the snow wreaking holiday havoc. A blast of Arctic air plunging temperatures to dangerous levels in much of the country. Nearly half the U.S. population under wind chill alerts from the Canadian border to the Mexican border. President Joe Biden urging Americans to use caution during a White House weather briefing Thursday.
It's not like a snow day, when you're a kid. This is serious stuff.
Governors from New York to Texas readying for the wicked winter weather, and in Wisconsin, an energy emergency declared as people crank up the heat to battle the bitter cold. Millions of Americans likely to experience the coldest Christmas in a generation. I'm Amanda Sansoni reporting.
New tonight, what a fun time it was at Master Vito Hyundai. Santa and the gang were all.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening and welcome back. We are taking a live look outside. This is our Utica National Tower Cam overlooking Cooperstown. You can see the flag waving in the distance here. It's a different story on Smith Hill. The winds are a lot stronger in the Mohawk Valley. It's a live look at our Cavby Tower Cam. The winds will remain strong in the Mohawk Valley tonight. We'll take a look at the winds in just a second. And we're still seeing some rain, widespread rain. It'll come down heavy tonight. This was a wintry mix earlier, actually made the roads pretty slippery, falling as a mixture of snow, sleet, freezing rain. But again, most of this has turned over to rain, and that will be the case as we head into tonight. Let's talk about the flash freeze for tomorrow. This is the start time when temperatures fall below freezing and the roads start to turn icy. I think it's between 11 a.m. to 1 for most of the Mohawk Valley. So right around lunchtime is when you could expect the weather to change and the roads to get quite slippery. Again, a flash freeze is when temperatures go from above freezing to below freezing very quickly. They'll make the roads icy. Cold weather arrives in the wake of this front. I wanted to take a look at the wind chill heading into tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Early on, temperatures will be in the 40s, so it'll be pretty mild. But by 5 p.m., just a rush of some much colder weather. It'll feel like near or below zero. And with the wind and the air temperatures Friday night and Saturday, it is going to feel bone-chilling cold. Wind chills will be between about 10 to 20 below zero, and it stays cold here across central New York. Winds will be picking up as we head into tonight, especially across the Mohawk Valley. Could see wind gusts between about 40 to 50 miles an hour. The winds will be strong as we head into the day tomorrow, too, turning into the west. Again, some power outages are certainly possible here. Also, just be careful if you're driving, because this is going to take down some Debris, could be some debris on the roadways here. Again, windy conditions will continue as we head into Saturday. Winds from the west. Again, some power outages certainly in the cards here heading into tonight and early tomorrow. A strong cold front approaching from the west. That's what's driving all this weather. As we head into tonight, again, it's just generally windy and wet with periods of rain. We start out Friday morning with temperatures in the upper 30s to low 40s. And then here comes the Arctic front approaching from the west. The rain picks up around 10 o'clock and then it turns over to snow right around noontime. Temperatures start to take that plunge. And again, as rain turns to snow, this is when conditions could be very icy across central New York. I just don't think that the road crews are going to be able to keep up with this because it rains and then it turns right to snow. They're not going to be able to pre-treat the roads very early with this. And then we're talking about just cold weather heading into Friday evening, scattered snow showers, temperatures in the teens, again, wind chill values well below zero. We do see some snow on the back end of this system, a general trace to 3 inches for the Mohawk Valley and southern valleys. North of the valley, 3 to 7 inches of snow possible, 7 to 12 inches towards Boonville and Old Forge. Tonight, heavy rain, windy, overnight lows in the 30s. Tomorrow, a mild start, but then that cold front arrives and it's going to be a pretty eventful day. A big drop in the temperature, windy conditions, again, turning very icy here in the afternoon. Again, that early high of 46. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. It's dry locally on Saturday and Sunday. It's windy and it's cold, but as you heard earlier, in western New York, northern New York, heavy lake effect snow, blizzard conditions. That stays out of central New York. We may be talking about some snow across the North Country, though, heading into Sunday night.
All right, so we got a second here. How is it that the blizzard stuff isn't coming our way? What makes the difference?
Southwest wind. The wind does not favor lake effect here. It's blowing it all to the north and west.
All right. I'm glad I asked. All right. Thanks, Bill. Coming up next, make sure you get for joining us. Friday is an alert day. The massive winter storm that's been affecting the rest of the country makes its way here. The governor already declaring a state of emergency. In fact, there's a ban on full commercial vehicle travel on the thruway from Rochester west to Pennsylvania's border. They will have blizzard conditions out there. Not us, though. For what we can expect, we turn to Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis now, tracking it all in the Weather Center. Right now, we're dealing with the winds, though, at this very hour.
Yeah, it's been a lot. We're going to walk you through and lay things out here, what we can expect as we head into the next 24 hours, because I think there's more concerns and there's a lot more things ahead of us that we need to get through that could be even more impactful than what we dealt with already. Let's take a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It's very windy, especially across the Mohawk Valley. We've been getting power outages, wind gusts, the latest from Rome up to 37 miles an hour. We could see gusts as high as 50 miles an hour, so the winds are expected to pick up over the next couple of hours. As we head into tonight, again, it's heavy rain. I think the risk for flooding is lower. Some of the warmer temperatures don't look quite as warm, so I guess there's some good news there. But again, the primary concern tomorrow is that flash freeze, where we see temperatures rapidly drop in the afternoon as a very strong cold front arrives. A burst of snow, very icy conditions here for Friday afternoon. And then Saturday, it's windy and cold. We're tracking the wind chill. Closer look at that coming up. Current temperature is 36 degrees. Tonight, it's rain and it's wind. Temperatures in the mid-30s. Tracking the timing of that flash freeze, and I'll let you know when you should avoid the roads tomorrow, and that's coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. New tonight, National Grid crews already dealing with power outages because of the wind. Nearly 3,000 customers without power north of Holland Patton in the areas of Barneveld, Steuben, Hinckley area. There's some other spots around. I saw some out in Marcy. And so there are other spots of power outages. National Grid now saying that the restoration time for the major ones is at about 11:15 tonight. Let's talk about National Grid. They have a lot more crews, over 2,800 in upstate, ahead of the potential widespread power outages tomorrow. They're in central New York, upstate New York. As soon as it's safe for crews to get out on the roads and get to work to restore the power, they will. Now, power outages are expected tomorrow into Saturday because of the high winds, heavy snow, ice buildup throughout into the holiday weekend. National Grid says, if you can, start preparing now because of the timing of the storm.
If you need batteries, if you need bottled water because maybe you have a well and you have a pump, this is the time to make sure that you have bottled water available, that you have enough batteries to power those flashlights. This storm is complicated by the holiday. There's not going to be an opportunity to just run out to the grocery store or somewhere else to go pick up batteries, because those stores are all going to be closed due to Christmas.
If you do experience an outage, you can call National Grid 1-800-867-5222, or you can go to their website. Also, NYSEG has a number, 1-800-572-1131. These are both on our website, WKTV.com. Meantime, this storm is plunging temperatures, dumping snow, snarling air traffic all across the country. National Weather Service is calling this a life-threatening situation, as more than 110 million Americans are under winter alerts coast to coast for snow and icy conditions. Amanda Sansoni is the latest on the storm and what this means for holiday travelers.
Dreams of a white Christmas turning into a nightmare.
It's already stressful enough.
For travelers trying to get home for the holidays.
Can't rent a car to go back to Bozeman. There's no flights back to Bozeman. No other flights to Nashville until I think like Christmas Eve.
Thousands of flights canceled or delayed Thursday, and already more than 2,000 canceled for Friday, according to FlightAware, as a once-in-a-generation winter weather event descends on the U.S.
It's tough, but hey, got a chance to see my family.
Across the plains, dangerous whiteout conditions on the roads.
Visibilities are rapidly dropping, so people who are stranded on the roadways, it's a life-threatening situation.
While a developing bomb cyclone is set to unleash heavy snow and blizzard conditions, especially in the Midwest and around the Great Lakes.
If you have to be on the road, if you have to drive, make sure you have a full tank of gas, you have water.
But it's not just the snow wreaking holiday havoc. A blast of Arctic air plunging temperatures to dangerous levels in much of the country. Nearly half the U.S. population under wind chill alerts from the Canadian border to the Mexican border. President Joe Biden urging Americans to use caution during a White House weather briefing Thursday.
It's not like a snow day, you know, when you're a kid. This is serious stuff.
Governors from New York to Texas readying for the wicked winter weather, and in Wisconsin, an energy emergency declared as people crank up the heat to battle the bitter cold. Millions of Americans likely to experience the coldest Christmas in a generation. I'm Amanda Sansoni reporting.
New tonight, what a fun time they had at Mastrovito Hyundai. Santa's
most dependable weather team. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening, welcome back. We're taking a live look at our Utica National Tower Cam overlooking Cooperstown. I want to compare two pictures tonight. This is the wind in Cooperstown. You can see the flag moving around a little bit, a breeze out there. And then compare this to the Tower Cam, which has been just shaking around a lot. It's our Cavite Tower Cam. The winds are a lot stronger in the Mohawk Valley tonight. We've seen wind gusts up to about 35 to 40 miles an hour, and winds overnight could gust as high as 50 miles an hour. So very windy night ahead. We've seen a transition from snow over to rain, even some sleet, freezing rain briefly in parts of the area earlier this evening. But as that warm air has moved in, we have noticed that changeover to all rain. So it's going to be a wet night tonight, more rain on the way. The big story is the strong cold front that arrives tomorrow afternoon, creating a widespread and pretty serious flash freeze. So we've been talking about this all week long. We're going to time this out for you. We think that the flash freeze for most of us in central New York is between 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's when temperatures fall below freezing and the roads start to ice up. To the west, out towards Syracuse, is about 10 a.m. to noon, and then to the east, it's a little bit later. Again, that cold front moving in from west to east. You don't want to be on the roads at this time or shortly after. You want to give roads a chance for the crews to get out and treat the roads. Once the roads are treated, it's fine. It's just generally going to be wet, and there will be some snow on the back end of this too. But again, the worst of these conditions, very icy conditions expected as that front moves through. Watch what happens to the wind here. We're going to look at the wind chill. So it's going to be mild tomorrow morning, but then as that front moves through, it gets dramatically colder. This is what it's going to feel like by 5 p.m. below zero, about 5 to 10 below zero. And it's bone-chilling cold tomorrow night as wind chills drop to 10 to 20 below zero as we head into Saturday morning, and will stay below zero throughout Saturday afternoon. Just a very cold day in central New York. Very windy tonight, enough to cause some scattered power outages. We've already seen a few of them tonight. We do expect to see more as the winds continue. Winds will pick up and peak between about 2 to 4 a.m. from the southeast. And then tomorrow, their wind direction changes into the west. And it's a windy afternoon. But again, I think the peak winds will be tonight. And we also could see about 40 to 45 mile an hour winds with the front, which rolls through in the middle of the day. The winds will remain as we head into Saturday between about 25 to 30 mile an hour gusts. Again, power outages possible as we head into tonight as well as tomorrow due to the wind. That cold front continues to move in. Let's time it out on our Skycast. Again, it's wet tonight. Temperatures remain above freezing. It's a mild start to Friday. Temperatures will be in the upper 30s to low 40s. Rain starts to break out around 10 o'clock in the morning. And again, there's no chance to see any breaks here. So the road crews won't be able to pre-treat roads because we go from rain right over to snow. And again, very icy conditions developing in the afternoon. This is noontime. A change over to snow. When this does turn over to snow, there could be some visibility issues here too. But again, it's going to be widespread ice. And it gets cold here as we head into tomorrow night. Temperatures will drop down into the single digits. Notice to the north, lake effect snow will be really intense towards Watertown and Buffalo. They could be in for another historic lake effect snow weekend ahead. The projections out in western New York call for 2 to 3 feet of accumulation. In fact, 3 to 4 feet of snow possible towards Watertown. Blizzard warnings in effect for these areas too. Again, we've been focusing most of our time on our local weather, but if you have any travel plans of going north and west, especially in those areas, you're going to want to reconsider or at least alter your plans based on those blizzard warnings. Snowfall on the back end of this system, a trace to 3 inches expected Friday afternoon and Friday evening, 3 to 7 inches possible north of the Mohawk Valley. And again, where that lake effect snow starts to fall along the Tug Hill, again, they'll be measuring snow in feet by the time it's done here towards the end of the weekend. Heavy rain tonight down to 34 degrees. Tomorrow, rain changes back over to snow. Everything turns very icy. You're going to want to throw some salt or sand on the driveway or sidewalk later in the day as we fall below freezing. It's cold Saturday, Sunday. Temperatures in the teens on Saturday afternoon, low 20s on Sunday. Some lake effect snow possible north Sunday night. And then it gets quiet.
Then it gets quiet.
We're going to get a break here in the weather, thank goodness, here for next week.
Quick update. They're reassessing the power outages. We're about 3,000 people without power north of Holland Patton. It was supposed to come back on by now. They're reassessing. So that's some good news for them up there, especially as it gets colder tomorrow. All right, thanks, Bill. Coming up next, making sure you get that holiday something in time.